Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. It's the weekend, which means only one thing. It's time for that weekly news roundup. As always, we will begin with FPGA gaming news, the MiSTer, the Analogue Pocket, and well, any other FPGA gaming news out there, such as like the Analogue 3D and the upcoming M64, as well as anything else. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is super duper appreciated. If you wish to support the channel further, I do have a Patreon set up. Also guys, timestamps have been made available, so use those to navigate your way around the video. And yeah, let's check out the channel sponsor, Zaparoo. Where are you? We got some work for you to do. Okay, Zaparoo, it makes NFC loading so freaking awesome. Want to load a game? Tap a card, bada bing, bada bo, load it up. And finally guys, don't forget to check out London's best arcade, Free Play City, where they've got games like Street Fighter, where you can do a sonic boom. I wanted to start this week with this news. 2 new computer cores for the MiSTer FPGA, and these are available via Update Tool. Now these are 2 systems I am not familiar with at all, but it's always important from a preservation standpoint. So TK2000 is one of them, and it says this is a Brazilian Apple II clone. And just heading over to Wikipedia, because like I said, I know nothing and this is not something I'm personally interested in. If this is a system that you played or you had, then definitely let me know in the comments below. But the TK2000 microcomputer, produced by the Brazilian company Micro Digital Electronica Limitada, was presented to the public during the 1983 Computer Fair and launched in 1984. It was a clone of the Microprocessor 2 manufactured by Multitech based on the 6502 CPU. The machine was partially compatible with Apple II Plus software and hardware. Some software was developed specifically for the machine, including productivity programs and games. In 1985, the TK2000 Model 2 or 2 was released, and in 1987 the machine was discontinued. So here you go, a little bit of history there, something out there. Again, always interested if you guys had one of these machines. And the next one here is a machine called Enterprise, the official core for Elan Enterprise computer. And again, going over to Wikipedia, I won't read it all, I'll just read a little bit of this. The Enterprise is a Zilog Z80 based home computer announced in 1983, but due to a series of delays was not commercially available until 1985. It was developed by British company Intelligent Software and marketed by Enterprise Computers. Okay, I'm sure I covered this as a core that was being worked on previously, but hey, now it's available via Update Tool. And this is what's so freaking good about the MiSTer. You're always getting these systems, some new systems to try just out of curiosity and for science. But for some people out there that may have had this, well, it's a glorious day that you're playing this with modern bells and whistles on a HDMI display. So yeah, always good stuff. Really good news if you are into shmups, especially the Konami horizontal shmup. So Gradius 2, a great game, a difficult game, something that you want to play, you want to get the power-ups, and you want to not even one CC, you want to one life your way through the entire game. So what's really cool is around 2008, someone actually made a ROM hack for arcade hardware. They dumped it on the Konami Twin 16 boards, and it was really hard to find. In fact, a member Knickknack over on JT's Discord server went to say that this is harder to find than unicorn poop. That proper made me laugh. Absolutely awesome. What's really cool over here, it's known as Gradius 2 XH, and this here's a debut article from the latest writer over on Metal Game Solid, Batty. Welcome Batty, and what a great first article. So they mention this game here, how it was found, and yeah, just talk a little bit about it. So this mainly is for people that wish to select different parts of the game in order to 1cc it. So in order to practice what you can do in this game, like over here, this is me playing it. I've just gone in straight to level 8, I think it is, to the last boss, and I've just gone in there and fought the last boss straight away. But effectively, what you can do in this is you can pick, like, say, level stage 4, section 3, stage 2, section 1. Well, you get it. You can pick and choose whatever part of the game you want in order to get some practice to 1cc. It's really good. And from what I recall, like, the guys over on the JT Discord were actually speaking about getting this available via Update Tool. I'm pretty sure it's included now, but since I added it manually, I couldn't actually check. So good stuff. Hopefully you can get this. And if you want to get a bit of practice into 1cc Gradius 2 like I just did over there, I mean, I did start on the last level, but I still 1cc there. Anyway guys, check it out. Gradius 2 is awesome. Taki Uran has been fairly quiet over on social media. He's just, I guess, getting on with stuff. So big shout out to Daniel for contacting me and then sending me like what they got on their shipping dashboard, where it says Clear Blue Founders Edition or Friends SS1 edition is in mass production now. So if you ordered the clear blue color and you were a Founders Edition or Friends of SS1 customer, then hopefully you will be getting your one soon. Now, if you ordered a black or a gray one, it doesn't look like those ones have entered mass production yet. So I wanted to put that out there, and once again a massive shout out to Daniel for sharing that with me. And I did confirm with a friend of mine that has the black one or ordered the black SuperStationOne that when they checked their shipping dashboard, it didn't say it was in mass production. Great news, guys. Zaparoo has been updated. It's always getting updated and new features are always getting implemented, and the quality of life improvements are just massive, and we keep getting more. So Zaparoo Core version 2.7.0 released. Anime Otaku did an article on this over on Metal Game Solid. If you do want to check it out, let me just give you like a brief version of it. So Zaparoo Core version 2.7.0 is a major update introducing a new title ID system for portable game identification, a powerful tag-based indexing system, a rebuilt and faster media database, expanded platform support across MiSTer Windows, Linux Batacera, plus new features like parental playtime limits, MQTT integration, and external drive token support. Existing cards still work, upgrades are simple, and users just need to refresh their media database after installing. So give yourself an update, check this out. I really like the parental control, so if you've got your kids into Zaparoo kids, we know Zaparoo can be addictive, set a timer up for them. I thought I'd highlight this X post here from QM-Tech. So manufactured some new V2 MiSTer IO boards for the QM-Tech MiSTer with built-in SD RAM board. It not only integrates 24-bit video DAC, 12S audio, and even 32MB secondary SD RAM, only a switch is used to switch between AV mode and dual SD RAM mode. For more info, please visit, and there you go. Let's have a look at some of these pictures because they do look very clean and they do look very nice. Guys, remember I did in the weekly news video and even a written article, X post, just kind of highlighting that there are clones or there are counterfeits of the alternatives boards by QM-Tech. So when you do buy it, make sure you buy it from the official QM-Tech store. And just going over to the link that they've provided, the QM-Tech IO board V2, this is it over here. But what's really interesting though is I clicked on this down here to see if they have any MiSTer FPGAs in stock, and they do. Here you go, sold by QM-Tech official store. That's what you want to go for. Make sure you're buying from them. Sometimes you might get some that name it very, very closely. What will happen is you'll get the MiSTer, it will work, but when you try a core like the N64, Saturn or PlayStation, you'll find that it won't boot up. So make sure you do buy it from there. But anyone that wants a MiSTer quickly, this is a very, very good choice. We can see it's $181 here, shipping to the US $12.47. I don't know if that includes taxes. Oh no, prices includes VAT. So that's my price in the UK. So if I wanted to get this, we're looking at like 140, 150 pounds plus shipping, no additional taxes on that. So QM-Tech present very, very good value with MiSTers, and if you're looking to get one quickly, this might be the best option actually, because if you order something from Taki, we're not sure, it should be coming, is it later this month, or actually we're at end of November now, aren't we? So hopefully you guys will get it before Christmas. The MiSTer Multi-System 2s, they're kind of, I think they're still fulfilling their pre-orders, so this might be the quickest way to get yourself a MiSTer at the cheapest possible price at the moment. So I don't actually have a QM-Tech MiSTer, but I have a few close friends of mine do, and they only speak highly of these. So just wanted to put this out there. There's a new AV board, and if you did want to get yourself a MiSTer setup, well, they have those in stock too, and it looks like they're shipping rather fast. So an interesting Reddit post here where it says quick script to update N64 Turbo Core. Okay, so the Turbo Core is an overclocked version of the Nintendo 64 core, which is really, really cool because some games where you have a low frame rate, it actually gives you extra frames. Some games it does, well, break once in a while, but it's a very, very experimental core that's very, very fun. But overall, it gave me really, really good results when I tried it. So what this does is this updates the Turbo Core. Now I have to say, if I head over to my MiSTer FPGA, you can see my Turbo Core there was updated on the 23rd of March 2024. Wow, that's like almost 2 years, 1 year and 3/4 ago that I added that. Now, I don't know if there's been like official updates from Robert Pape, or if there's people updating them, but I might try this script out later. I mean, I could always add it manually. I don't know the frequency of how often they're getting updated, but if you do like the turbo core, because that's all the rage, at least with the Analogue 3D, people have been talking about that turbo feature, which increases the frame rate. Remember, the MiSTer has that as well. The MiSTer has an experimental turbo version of the core that Robert Pape, the developer, made available. So if you do want it to update manually, you can add this custom strip. So just follow. I thought I'd put this out there. Be wary with any strips. Make sure you check the GitHub, and if you're happy with it, add it to your MiSTer and run it. In the meantime, if anyone has actually tried it, then yeah, give me a shout. Let me know what it's like. I'm doing like 50 things at once, so I want to do a lot. I just have to be very selective of what I can do, but this is something I would like to test out. Again, this is something that I would kind of like to try out, but I feel like it will take up a lot more time, and I could probably use the time to do a lot more smaller projects. So over here, ℾ𝒾𝓈𝓈 open source voice assistant for MiSTer FPGA on iOS. Actually, I can't even use it. I don't really use iOS devices. I've probably got an old iPad or an iPhone kicking about, but hey, I'm an Android guy. Pixel for life. Pixel Cherry Ninjas uses the Google Pixel, and I'm not sponsored by Google. I just like their version of Android, and I'm getting off into something else, but I'm going to finish what I started. When I used a non-Pixel Android phone, I thought the experience was rubbish, so I've gone back to Pixel. Tried iPhones, I'm a Pixel guy. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So what this essentially does is, well, this is a follow-up to the post I made 2 months ago with a demo video. I remember covering that post in the weekly news. So over here, Alexander Majors says, I just recently open sourced my voice assistant app for ℾ𝒾𝓈𝓈. It's a voice assistant app that lets you say things like play Wing Commander 2, and it will search for the game and launch it. So sounds interesting, a good accessibility option. I mean, depending on the kind of setup you've got, you could have voice activated launching. So if you do want to check it out, I'll leave links as I normally do. It'll be in a Metal Game Solid post, but going over to that, all the links you need will be there. Check it out, and if you do get this up and running, let me know what you kind of think of it, and let me know what your use case is. You know, have you got some kind of crazy games room where you're doing physical activities and you want to watch the attract mode on, say, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and you're like, launch Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and bang, it starts running. So interesting. Do love innovation like this. I know it's always a mixed bag on AI, and I always see a lot of people do hate it, but you know, it can be used in this case to launch stuff here. So I do find it interesting, but hey, I remain neutral on it. I am Switzerland. In this section of the video, I want to talk about the unstable nightly and test build updates that we have received in the last 7 days. Now, DeepThor has been doing a lot of work with the auto fire and just kind of making that rate so it's more in tune with the actual arcade games that we're playing, more in sync with like the refresh rate of the actual game, or the refresh rate the game had on the monitor. So he's put out like at least 2 updates for the MiSTer main to include his auto fire. That's really, really good. I do want to check that out at some time. DeepThor, I think we need to talk so you can give me a better understanding of it. Maybe I can run a video on it, because the work you're doing does seem freaking awesome. As well as that, we got an update for the PlayStation Core, the CDI Core, Game Boy, NES, and Amiga. The Analogue 3D remains a popular device. The pre-orders are being given out to people, and all of them should be fully shipped by December the 2nd, which I think is Tuesday. And then what happened? Analogue opened up some orders on November the 24th, 8 AM PST or 4 PM for me in the UK. Now, remember, I was at work. I checked in at 4:15 PM and they were all sold out. I then went over to the FPGA Gaming Discord where people said they were all sold out by 4:10 PM and the white was out of stock by 4:06. But if we have a look at Analogue's own thing over here, by 4:09 they said everything has sold out. The white sold out first. Some people even reported that they tried to buy it at like 4:02, 4:03 and the white units were sold out. Either way, it just proves it's very, very popular. I really do hope Analogue do get some more stock of the 3D, especially with the M64 by ModRetro, which seems to be around the corner. Not exactly sure when that is going to release. They did a little bit of a reveal regarding colors, so we'll have a look at ModRetro in a little bit anyway. But yeah, the Analogue 3D is proving very, very popular. Really, really good reviews, really good performance, and overall people are happy with it. And for everyone that managed to bag one on the restock on the 24th of November, then congratulations. I hope you get your Analogue 3D soon. I'm waiting for mine, so hopefully I'll get mine soon and I can start giving you guys some content and my opinion on this device. Well, slap me 7 ways to Saigon and say yeehaw, cowboy. Actually, don't say that. Let's get back to points. So, with the Analogue 3D, one of the big issues was that not all flash carts are compatible, including the most popular one out there, the EverDrive. Well, certain versions of the EverDrive, some versions of the EverDrive, older ones on an older firmware worked, but if you've got the latest and the greatest, which is the EverDrive X7, it wasn't working with the latest firmware. So what was really interesting here is ℾ𝒶 here. So on the same day Analogue got the restock, in fact, 45 minutes before the restock began. So that was good timing, because when people saw this, maybe more people rushed to buy one. And he's showing that it's working and it's something that can be fixed with a software patch. So looking promising over there. And then what was really amazing, 2 days later, version 3.09 comes out, which you update your EverDrive, but there were a few caveats. And in this post over here, what you need to do is you apply the update, and then you need to insert it into a real Nintendo 64 in order to initially get it working, and then it will work on the 3D. But if you don't have access to a Nintendo 64, you would need to do some soldering. Most people, or a lot of people, commented when I did a video during the week saying that they still have the N64 and it wasn't an issue. Some people said they don't have an N64, but they're okay at soldering. And there were a few people, and I felt bad for them, that they had the X7, but they didn't have a Nintendo 64, and they absolutely suck, just like me, at soldering. So I really do hope there's a solution for you guys out there at some point as well. But for now, if you want to get the EverDrive working, the EverDrive or some of the later ones on the latest firmware, then this is what you need to do. You need either an N64 or you need some soldering. ℾ𝒶 did say that all the new EverDrives that he's going to sell aren't going to have this issue. He's going to implement that, so when you put it in your Analogue 3D, it just works straight out of the bat. And then finally, an issue that was found with the EverDrive was version 3.09, the overclocking would malfunction the EverDrive, the games would stop working, they would crash in. Again, ℾ𝒶 just put out an update yesterday, so version 3.10 available for download. In this version, I included memory timings optimization for unleashed overclock mode in Analogue 3D. So there you go. If you're having issues with the overclock mode, then give this a shot. Really looking to try this. I do have the EverDrive X7, so yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out when the time comes. Really cool. The Amiga core for the Analogue Pocket has been updated twice in the last week from the developer Mazamars. Now, if you haven't tried Amiga out on the Analogue Pocket, you really need to do. It's a freaking amazing experience. By the way, if you like the look of this, this is in the demo scene folder under E for Eon, E-O-N. Absolutely amazing. The demos on the Amiga are fantastic, and Amiga Vision, get that bundle on there and you just get all this stuff ready to go. But having a look at the updates, so version 0.2.2 updated support latest Amiga Vision file naming, improved some UI labels and documentation, scoreboard corruption in Hybris was fixed, and that's thanks to RSN 8887. And then finally 0.2.3 latest fixes from MiSTer Core compiled in 24.1 quarters, and document MiSTer fixes ported to the core, JSON files updated. So actually, I haven't actually updated to 2.3. When I did the video here, I was on version 2.2. So that's something for me to do as well, just to update this. So play Amiga, guys. It's fantastic. There's lots and lots of good games on there. It's a fantastic system, and it feels amazing on the Analogue Pocket. It's like you have the Amiga in your pocket. I still find it mind-blowing when I pull it out of my pocket. I have that snazzy front end from Amiga Vision, and I'm playing something, well, that used to take up my TV when I was in high school. We now have a truly great version of the NES core on the Analogue Pocket. It's a port of the MiSTer core that Ⅎ𝒾𝓈𝓈 brought over from the MiSTer to the Analogue Pocket, but Terminator 2K2 has been making improvements to it. So the Analogue Pocket has 2 cores available via FPGA. One of them is a closed source core from Spiritualized. That's a really good core. I like the core. I find it fine. That core already plays Famicom Disk System games as well as NES sound format files. So that's a cool core. But the one ported over from the MiSTer has all the new mappers, all the mappers from the MiSTer FPGA, and it scores higher when running a benchmark tool like accuracy coin. So where ℾ23 ported over a while ago, Terminator 2K2 has been adding the addition. So essentially what you've got in this new version of the core is you've got 4 cores in one. Depending on what game you pick, it will load the game with the correct mapper. If you pick a Famicom disk system game, it will run a variation of that core. If you pick a NES sound format file, you want to listen to a bit of game music, it will load that version of the core. And it does it all seamlessly. All you are doing is picking what you're picking and it loads it quickly in the background. This is a stream I did last night and it was a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone that actually turned up there. But what's really cool here is you can't grab this via the updater. So if you want to get the best version of this core, what you have to do is update your core as normal, and there is a link. So I'll leave this stuff in the description for you guys to get. And essentially, if you go over to this post on Metal Game Solid, you can get the required files that you need, and all you need to do is copy them in the folder where it tells you where to copy it anyway. Assets, NES Common. Oh, sorry, that's where the BIOS files goes. But yeah, you copy it into the NES core folder, you overwrite the existing files, and you get this newer version of the core, FDS working, NSF working, 129 out of 129 on accuracy coin. By the way, the vanilla core currently gets 114 out of 129, and it has all the MiSTer mappers. So massive shout out to everyone that's involved. This is always and always a community effort. This isn't something a person can do by themselves, or maybe they can, but it's easier when the team get together. So big thanks out to all the MiSTer developers, ℾ23 and Terminator 2K2. And guys, if you haven't played this, this is called The Legend of Zelda Ancient Dungeon. It's a roguelike take on the original Zelda game, and it is so much fun. So here we have it. Now look at the walls here. It's got an M there for ModRetro. So going into that event, popping down, shooting the guy in the toilet. That was one of the best gaming moments I ever experienced when I played GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. So here's a promotional little video that the finance behind, or the owner of ModRetro, put out there. And he's basically saying that the price, the early bird price that was $199, is going to remain, regardless of inflation, component shortages and tariffs. That is going to be the price of the M64, ordering it early or going forward even after the early bird signups. But what he says over here is they are going to reveal some stuff on Black Friday, and I did a dedicated video on that. But hey, we can go through the series of tweets for the week until we lead up to Black Friday. So that was on Tuesday. Grok, I don't want you to explain that to me. So Night Talk over here says, do we have to already have the old N64 cartridge games? And Palmer Lucky here, this is interesting here because before I read that out, on the Chromatic, there are some original games that are available. So you can get original games for the Chromatic, like it came with their own version of Tetris, which essentially is a Game Boy game because the Chromatic is an FPGA Game Boy. It uses the MiSTer Game Boy core. But other games from indie developers are released as Chromatic games. So it you're kind of like reliving that Game Boy era in a sense, right? So Palmer here responds, we have a crazy good library of new, old and never released titles coming. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what will come out for the Nintendo 64 or the M64 Nintendo 64 cartridge, and hopefully all that stuff will work on the Nintendo 64, because the Chromatic games, if you've got the ROM of those games, you can play them on the MiSTer, you can play them on the Game Boy, you can play them on the Analogue Pocket. So that would be interesting to see what new games come out for the Nintendo 64, or in this case the M64. This was really interesting here. Reggie here, the was it a president, or I don't know, American president of Nintendo. Over here he says, good thing I kept all my games, looking forward to starting one of these up. So this is really big, because this is someone that was the face of Nintendo for many years, spearheaded the Nintendo Switch launch, right? Like, so this is big coming from that. So maybe if someone did not know about the M64, they might be thinking this is actually a Nintendo product. This is endorsed by Nintendo, even though Reggie doesn't work for them anymore. Yeah, I actually wonder whether this is something Reggie just did because he's a fan, or is this something where there was some kind of an endorsement there, maybe some kind of financial endorsement. Again, just speculation here. Don't quote me on that, but this is big. Someone that was the face of Nintendo for so long, coming out and endorsing a product that is not Nintendo but is playing Nintendo cartridges. Either way, very interesting. Whether it was endorsed or not, it is definitely good PR for ModRetro and the M64. Okay, let's move on to the next one. over here. So Palmer, okay, the body is ready. Okay, so we can finally show you what they are showing on Black Friday, which is this one over here. So you've got this page over here. You can pick your color. So they showed 3 colors over here. You've got purple, and then you've got green, and then you've got like a transparent kind of white color. Let's put it on green for a second, because that's the most kind of bright one out there. And when you scroll down the page at any point, obviously when you click it, it just changes color, but we'll stick to green, right? And there you go. You can see all the different like versions of it. Some people said it's ugly, but I'm going to be honest, I've seen uglier, man. And I don't know what it is about transparent shells. I just really like them. But yeah, I have to agree, for those saying that the power button and the menu button there on the side looks like you're going to be playing an Etch-a-Sketch or something. And in there, you've got a cartridge, an M64 game. So I presume that is one of the original titles coming out for the M64. So interesting times ahead. FPGA game is getting interesting. What's cool over here is the controller. Now, a lot of people said the controller looks rubbish. Look, I for the whole part think the controller looks all right. I never had any issues with the N64 controller. I played it for yonks and yonks and yonks. Many multiplayer sessions. I played more multiplayer games on the Nintendo 64 than I did single player games. But this kind of looks all right. Now, I do wonder as to whether this will come bundled with the console, because for $199 with a controller as well, no one can argue that is good value. And I also wonder whether it will come bundled with an original game. So a lot of feedback I got on the video was like, this update here was very, very lackluster, basically saying it was nothing. You've just shown us 3 colors. You haven't given us anything. Based on the chatter that I had with people were expecting like maybe pre-orders were going to open and you're going to be able to pre-order it, or maybe they're going to say, because they've said before, part of it will be open, or it will be open, or at least in some degree it will be open source. Will it come with additional cores? Are you now going to tell us that, guess what, you can run Super Nintendo games on here? There's going to be a Super Nintendo core. There's going to be, I don't know, a Game Boy core, or we're going to put the chromatic core on here, whatever. But that then, all they showed was 3 colors. Now, from an FPGA gaming news channel, or a channel that's focused on that, I do like to cover retro stuff as well. This, for me, made interesting content, just going over this and having a look at it. But if you have a look at the comments on that video, a lot of it was like, meh, this just really wasn't a major update. I get that. Hopefully we'll get you can start pre-ordering it soon rather than being on a wait list, and people might get a little bit more hype. But it looks like they've got a sale on as well, a Black Friday sale, where you can pick up a chromatic for like 20% off. And this was kind of interesting over here. So should ModRetro make a detailed hardware capability feature comparison chart everyone keeps asking for? I'm not sure what they meant. I kind of clicked Analogue 3D there, but why have they put ModRetro in there? I thought they were asking for a comparison chart between like a different device and the ModRetro M64. So let's have a look at what the Analogue 3D offers. Let's see what the original N64 offers. Let's see other, I presume maybe something like MiSTer, and let's see what the M64 does that's better, the ModRetro 64. But I'm not quite sure what they kind of mean by that. Do feel free to educate me, but it was something in here. Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. So this one over here, the body is ready. We can finally show the final design of the M64. 3 translucent colors are in manufacturing right now, more than a dozen on the way. Okay, so that's 3 there. That means there's another 9 colors at least that are in the making, more than, so I would say at least another 10. Goes on sale online and retail soon. So we don't know what soon means. Sometimes I've heard soon and it's been a day, and sometimes I've heard soon 3 years ago and that soon is still in soon. So I don't think it's going to be that long. It is in manufacturing, like he's saying, and then we are releasing upcoming colors as easily swappable low-cost body kits. Now, someone, when they had a look at the 3 colors that were available, they said, oh no, I want a red one. Chances are you're gonna get that red one. I think I may have even seen it in like another tweet or another conversation. So interesting stuff here. Do kind of let me know what you think about this. Are you just staying away from this? Is this something you're hyped about? I do understand a lot of people don't like the person behind this, who seems to be someone with a lot of money that's, well, reliving their childhood by putting some of that money towards their game of reliving retro gaming. But hey, it's FPGA news and I'll always cover FPGA news no matter what. But do let me know what you think. Are you happy with your 3D? Are you waiting for the restock? Are you gonna get an M64, or are you like, no, my MiSTer core is all I need? Either way, the FPGA space is growing and new challenges are entering the arena. So interesting here from Tamariel, who's been working on the 8086 CPU for some time as their core that they want to bring over to FPGA. Now, I know Tamariel best for bringing stuff over to the tank consoles, whether it's the 2025K, 60K, or the 138K. I have a 138 console, and hopefully I can do some more videos and streams on it, and hopefully some more cores can come on that. So over here, Tamariel says 8,531 out of 16,150 test cases now pass on the 8086 CPU, over half of the instruction set implemented. The design is shaping up nicely, and it's still about 1,200 lines of Verilog so far. So yeah, well done Tamariel, love your work. Remember Spyro the Dragon, a mascot of the PlayStation in a certain way. As far as I know, the games only ever came out for the PlayStation. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Well, it looks like work has begun potentially on this game coming over to the Nintendo 64. So PlayStation's mascot is jumping ship. Spyro is finally coming to the Nintendo 64. So the developer behind this is Frogball, and they've done plenty of projects before, including like a version of Shenmue on the Sega Saturn, Metal Gear Solid for the Sega Saturn, Final Fantasy VII for the Sega Saturn, as well as Crash Bandicoot, and Star Wars Dream of the Rebellion for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, a lot of this stuff is they're like demos, demos, proof of concept, but it's always interesting to see this stuff. It'll be interesting to see this running on the N64, whether it's a partial game or whether it's a complete game. Always welcome. Great stuff here. Even though this video is from a work in progress, the work got completed, so it's not work in progress anymore. This is actually out, and you can grab this and play this right now. So Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest jumps from NES to SNES, and what it does with it, it brings stunning MSU1 soundtrack. A lot of the flickering has gone, and lots of quality of life improvements, like an all-new demo, a new soundtrack at the demo. Just freaking awesome stuff. If this is a game that you grew up playing, you will love it. And look at that, you can change the filters on the fly, and you can make some great ones and some diabolical ones, but it's completely up to you how you play it. So this is freaking awesome. You can grab this from Rumble Mince's X account, Blue Sky account. Naturally, everything will be linked. Do check it out. It's a good way of playing this classic. So here's a collection that I received courtesy of Q-Byte Classics. I wanted to do a dedicated video on there, but time, I didn't get a chance. So I'm featuring it in the news video. Now, I do like the collections Q-Byte are putting together. They put like the Top Racer collection, then they put up the Beat 'em Up collection. And for the whole part, I'm having fun playing them. I did a live stream of theirs on a Beat 'em Up collection that I bought, and then they reached out to me. And since then, they've been kind of hooking me up with their latest releases. And I do like adding them to the collection. I gave it a quick go on the Nintendo Switch. And yes, I've got different ways of playing them, but it is convenient playing it on the Nintendo Switch. As well as that, it's out for all the major consoles like the PlayStation over here, as well as the Xbox, which generally, this is just my opinion, I think the Xbox is freaking dead. But it's got 4 versions of the game on there. It's also out for the PC, and for the whole part, guys, it's a lot of fun. I remember when this came out for the Super Nintendo, I did actually play this, and I remember it had the attacks like Road Rash, where you can hit them on each side, as well as that you had like different power-ups and stuff in there, but the attacks really took me back to Road Rash. Now, if we go further down, it tells you like what is on here. The stream description is usually good. So it's got 4 game modes: practice, head-to-head, championship, rumble mode, and soccer mode. There you go. So play soccer with race cars, and this isn't available on the MS-DOS version. So what you'll find, this is what's interesting here, 4 games in one. The collection includes the SNES game. That's what I grew up playing a bit, but you know what, Mario Kart came out, and Mario Kart became the norm for any kart racer out there. Nothing else stood a chance. Then you had the Mega Drive version, the MS-DOS version, and the Game Boy version. So there was a few different versions of this game. Overall, I remember it being popular at the time, and I remember seeing this on like one of the TV shows like Games Master or something. But like I said, when Mario Kart came out, this just never really stood a chance after that. I never played the Game Boy version. Maybe I should try that out on the Switch. I've got some stuff to kind of set up later, but maybe there'll be a dedicated video on that. If you do want to see a dedicated video of me going through all the games in this collection, then definitely let me know down below. But either way, it's available, and I like the collections Q-Byte are putting out there. It's just nice to have like a bundle with lots and lots of different games on there. So fantastic stuff. Do check it out for either the PC or your favorite console. A special thank you out to Dave Wongilius, who I always say is just an awesome human being. So welcome to POKCART, MBC1, MBC2, MBC3, MBC5 support. isolated real-time clock per game, 64 megabit RAM, ultra-fast loading, USB port for developers. So pre-orders open next week. So this tweet is from yesterday the 28th. So hopefully in another 6 days or so, these will be open and it will be available in March 2026. And let me just like and retweet that. And here you go. I've typed that. Hey guys, I'd love to get one to test and do a video on. Let's just press reply. Okay, so that's out there. Let's see if they respond. Then let's see if I can get one for review before the day of March 2026. So I can try it on my Analogue Pocket. I can try it on my various Game Boys. I've got Game Boy Colors and I've got a Game Boy DMG. So it'll be interesting to see. I still like Game Boys. I love handheld gaming and this kind of looks interesting. So once again, Dave Wangilius, thank you for bringing this to my attention. It makes me wonder, is this something that will be parallel with the EverDrive? Will it be better than the EverDrive? Will it be worse? But either way, it's decent to have more options and it's decent to have competition in the field. I wanted to feature this. Haven't had time to try this out yet, but I like these guys here, All Alone Games. They put out a number of games on itch.io, free for the Game Boy, and I love the Game Boy. So over here, let me press Run Game. You can play it via a browser, but you don't want to do that. You want to download this, play this on your Analogue Pocket, or play it on original hardware. So this is a 20-second Metroidvania. I mean, it sounds insane. Apparently the whole game is around 5 minutes long, but once you know like the secrets, you can get through it in 20 minutes. I would like to put this on like my MiSTer and the Analogue Pocket, and next time I'll do like a Game Boy Color stream, just something that I can play and go through. These guys have made some really good games, some good puzzle games, and all their games are free, so do check these guys out, check out the other games on itch.io, and have some fun on the Game Boy. In this section of the video, I wanted to have a look at some sales that are available for the niche items that we like, and well, just to give some people in the community a shout out. So what we've got over here is Pixel FX have a sale on for Black Friday, 10% off many different items. You can check them out. So if you're up or if you're after a HDMI upgrade kit for the GameCube, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2 or PS2 Slim, Dreamcast 3DO or PlayStation 1, then you might want to check this out. As well as that, the excellent upscaler, which by the way I have just got, so thank you Pixel FX for sending that out. I do need to set it up and hopefully I've got a choice. Shall I go to the arcade or shall I set up the Pixel FX more 4K? I'm kind of undecided. I'll decide after I do the video. But yeah, that's got 10% off if you do want to check that out as well. Just go over to the checkout when you're ordering, put in the code BF for Black Friday or Boyfriend 2025. Okay, so this one over here, Artistic Pixels. Dude, this guy is super talented. Some amazing work he's got here. So he's got a Black Friday sale. I can't remember the percentage that's off. Is it 10 or is it 20%? Here you go. Oh, it's 20%, 25 to 20. There you go. So he's got 25%, and I think that's across the entire store. What's really cool is he's got stuff like those Hollow Effects shiny stickers that just look absolutely amazing. And what we've got over here, okay, so Retro Frog, which is Todd Gill, he does a lot of 3D printing and a lot of design work, and his design work is top notch. So the Retro Tink 4K, you want a vertical stand? Guess what? Todd has got you covered. And lots of different stuff there, even inventive stuff like just a place to store all your rechargeable or even non-rechargeable batteries, and then stands for controllers. Either way, he's got a sale on for Black Friday. There's a lot of stuff on there, so yeah, check it out from Retro Frog. And yeah, some popular stuff there, interesting stuff. Nice solutions, nice tidy. And finally here, I don't think this is a Black Friday sale, but there are some items over on the Zaparoo store that give you money off. So the Zaparoo is open source. You can make a lot of this stuff yourself, but if you can't make it yourself, then support the people behind Zaparoo and you can buy some stuff from them, which gets you the stuff. It's all ready to go, but it also supports the project. I couldn't really find any more. I had a look at some other like businesses and small sellers that I like dealing with, but unfortunately they didn't have any events on for Black Friday. So yeah, do check it out, man. So we got Pixel FX, Artistic Pixels, Retro Frog, and Zaparoo. So that's it, guys. This wraps it up for this week's episode. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. Play lots of games, be freaking awesome to one another. And if you've got any feedback, any comments, leave them down below. Anyway, guys, this is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.